Hello, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome if you are joining us today. And I'm super excited and delighted to be here this morning with my guest, Kylie Jahinsky, Director at Prime Recruitment and Consulting in Melbourne, Australia. So, Kylie, good morning to you, although good evening for you today.
Good evening. Good morning to you.
Thanks so much for being here with us today. Now, for anybody interested in building a systemized recruitment business that generates highly profitable results through a team and systemized processes that team follow, rather than one that maybe is reliant on you. And you're the linchpin and you experience those inconsistent results and months, then this next 20 minutes with Kylie could change your life and your business. So stay tuned as we dive in, and we're going to walk you through exactly how Kylie built this into her recruitment business. So, Kylie, before I dive into all my questions with you today, would you mind letting our audience know a little bit about what you do and your business?
Yeah, sure. I'm the founder and director of Prime Recruitment, as Katie explained. I established the business in 2019. I have a background in recruitment of just over 18 years now. So it was with a deep understanding of the construction industry over that period of time that I decided to launch the business. And the network that was built through all of that experience and the influence in the property industry very much led me to going back and doing what I love to do in the Australian property and construction industry.
Great.
So yeah, we work with everyone in the property life cycle, from builders to project management firms, developers, large investor client groups, and we look after both temporary, permanent, and contract placements for really junior to intermediate and up to executive level staff.
Great. What were the challenges and problems that you were experiencing before you joined the program?
Yeah, I was in a position where I felt stagnant with regards to not only profit, but really where I was going to take this business without the strength of the pillars that really needed to underpin the business. So, I only knew what I knew, which was recruitment and how to recruit and my marketplace, but without the knowledge and what I needed to know to strengthen the machine in the business,
Yeah.
that was where I really needed help. And I knew that there were a number of levers that I could pull and push to really obviously increase profit, to make the business more attractive, to find consultants and have them become part of the growth plan. So it was really sort of looking at, where I was sitting and where I wanted to go. And as I said, without the knowledge, I only knew what I knew. And, the economical conditions in the market at that point in time was just proving that business development was coming back, and innovation around business development I needed to learn about, and efficiencies. So there's a number of things in there that I was thinking through, but really needed the coaching, the learnings, and the platform to launch.
Yeah. And why were these a problem for you? What were you sort of experiencing with that lack of, like you say, lead generation and
Well, it's, there's only so much that I could do. There was myself
Mm.
and another consultant. We had maximized, our job flow.
Yeah.
So it was really, as I said, the challenge here was, okay, how do we push the boundaries still with
Yeah.
quality,
Yeah.
process? What could we do with the business when we were asleep? As I said, lead generation was something that we could implement, and it can work while we're not working on it.
Yeah.
So it was really just getting smarter about and efficient about what we needed to do day to day without being in the thick of it.
Yeah. And on the area with that team as well, because I mean, this is something that I think many people can relate to, where you've got a team, you've got a business, and you kind of feel like you're saying, you've reached that plateau. It's like there's a
Mm.
ceiling that's happened. and you can maintain a certain level, but you're feeling as though, look, it's clunky, or we're missing
Yes.
opportunities. Processes don't feel very slick. Everything feels quite hard. And of course, for the individuals, it feels that way as well. And with the team, what did you notice you were experiencing at that point with the team without those processes in place?
Sometimes a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. We
Mm,
were collaborative in we were talking about sort of, a problem would arise. Okay, how do we solve? Or, what did I need to, implement to make sure, everyone could keep learning and growing. But it
mm,
was a problem at any given time. So there wasn't really um, a long-term plan with regards to, where we need to go and how we need to get there. As you said, it did feel clunky because every little problem was, arising. But to have a longer-term strategy and have everything in place to be able to, as you said, have those slick systems and just the know-how so consultants can just do their job,
yeah.
and love doing their job at the same time.
Yeah,
Mm.
brilliant. Okay, thank you. So what's changed? What's different now?
The list, to be honest with you, is endless. There's, I suppose personally, my mind is more free with, out of being tangled in the to-do list of, this needs to be achieved every single day. So,
Mm,
as I said, the wheels were certainly put in motion for consultants to have the liberty of, doing what they do. So that's, definitely freed us all up to to follow a quality process. But as I said, more so me,
mm,
to, just be free in my mind and know that, everyone's working efficiently. We're able to expand with growing another 2 consultants, bringing them into the business, and that come back to a very thorough recruitment process in order to find the right people that really fit the team and the job role itself. So there's a bit of restructuring within the business with regards to consultants' job role or candidates' job role. Just make sure everyone was playing to their strengths and we were working together as a team functioning. Um, we are a specialist in property and construction, but we made a considered decision, I suppose, to be more subsector focused and still very niche.
yeah,
Um, and along with that, you come down to really qualifying the jobs that were coming in. We have great client relationships and longevity in those, but the jobs that were at some points in time coming forward to us or that we were sourcing didn't have that gold effect about them. They really needed to be qualified, scrutinized, the risk taken out, and that just meant our turnaround for jobs, job fill turnaround and success in actually getting an outcome was achieved rather than the off chance or the contingent model. Yeah.
brilliant, brilliant. So systemize the process in terms of the way that people are working, speeded up the recruitment process for your clients.
Mhm.
Looking at how you're hiring people, you're going to dive underneath these in a minute. What else has changed? What else is different in terms of or results that you have from making these changes?
Yeah, we certainly increased our placements. It was thereabouts a 30% increase in Q3 and Q4 last year. It was a really quick turnaround, which obviously I was very, very grateful for.
Mm,
But it's, when you commit to a program like this, you need to implement. And I involved the team in being able to follow my journey so that I could go back to the office and we could all have a catch up and implement a process, be on board, and off we go. So I felt there was a really quick turnaround there. Exclusive assignments, we increased the number of exclusive assignments with a few more retained positions as well. So again, just getting the control with the client, the quality in the job that we were about to recruit, and the commitment to the outcome. Number of days to fill reduced thereabouts by 5 days. When you're working multiple roles, that's quite a lot over that, a longer period of time, I suppose. So that was, yeah, that was a real success. We were able to turn things around a lot quicker. Thus, such a great, 2 quarters. We're able, through the learnings, to prioritize the most valuable candidates and what we were going to do with them, and action exactly how we were going to, find them a home, essentially. So our float calls increased, our CVs to clients to interview, those ratios jumped up by about 10 to 15%. Client meetings increased by about 40%. So looking back on the last 6 months, it was super busy, but we needed to get out there and market face to face, and we had the lead generation happening in the background, which meant that we're on the phone or communicating with clients, which meant asking for that meeting and going out and really, selling our capabilities.
Amazing.
Our LinkedIn connections, both our
Mhm.
each consultant's accounts right through to the business LinkedIn page increased due to our activity, through LinkedIn, through marketing, but also through connecting in the right areas.
Great, and that's all organic without even paying for it. So
Mm.
fantastic. And what about for you? How's things changed for you? How are they different now?
Look, as I said, my the what was running through my mind when I just knew that there was more not more to do, more efficiencies and impact to be had without actually
Mm.
doing more. To be honest with you, Katie, I was finding as a business owner and, also recruiting that, my hours were really long. I was working, doing my admin and implement, processes and all of that stuff that takes you away from being client facing and being, the front line of the
Yeah.
business. And in the market. So, I have my evenings are back with my kids, doing sport, exercising. It's great weather here at the moment, so we're out and about. I'm not slaving away behind the laptop. Um,
Brilliant.
and as I said, holidays, holidays are easily planned now. And I know I can go on a holiday without having to take my laptop because everything will still function. And, there might be, hiccups and problems day to day, but essentially I can see what the business is doing every day if I wanted to tap in, tap out. But I have full confidence that things will keep turning while I'm taking a break.
Amazing. Good for you and good for the team.
Yeah,
So incredible results. Well, let's dive under a couple of those strategies and break down how you achieve those results. And
yeah.
heard you talking about, and we were talking about this earlier, weren't we? Just before we came on, around that hiring process and making sure that you have the right people within the organisation in the first place. So tell me a bit about what you put into place there.
Sure. A more considered approach to recruiting. I mean, obviously, talent attraction was one area which there was some improvement in. Obviously, the
Mm.
brand and our noise in the market to attract consultants. But getting down into the interviewing process, the qualifying, even the testing. I didn't have testing in place in terms of dynamic testing.
Yeah.
A lot of my clients do, but I just never really thought about it. But putting personality, just small personality tests, they weren't too heavy or too detailed, but I was able to see with anyone that I was interviewing and thus the consultants that have joined Prime, where exactly their strengths are, and how what the ability to relate will be. And really the mechanics, I suppose, of the business plays to everyone's strengths and or weaknesses. So being able to sort of recognize those and just make sure that everyone's in the right seat, and thriving, willing to
Yeah.
thrive, motivated to thrive. So there's just a lot of concentration on those processes, but also really deep diving in those areas.
Yeah, great. Brilliant. And it's so true, isn't it? Because when consultants understand their role and what they're accountable for, and there's those sort of reporting tools in place as well for them, it makes it a lot easier for them to understand what they're responsible for, but also to follow through on that and for you to to manage that, isn't it? Because so
Yeah.
many recruitment business owners, I think we've been good billers, we know what we're doing, and we know how to self-manage ourselves, but then managing other people is quite a different beast, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, most definitely. And there was some areas with regards to coaching that I learnt, also that, have been an advantage to, as I said, relating with people and just really being curious to understand, what they're enjoying, what they don't, what they need to learn, and being able to, support that.
Yeah,
Mm.
excellent. Okay, and you talked about lead generation and
Mm.
having that automated system. You said, right, while we're asleep, we can have this system working in the background.
Mm.
Tell us a bit about what you've implemented there in the innovation on the sales side, on the business development, and what difference that made.
Sure. The really LinkedIn has been the tool, I suppose, for doing that, and it's
Mm,
really, having so many connections. It's being able to talk to those connections, and on a mass scale. I mean, I think I've got like over 6,000 connections, and that's been built over time. So I wasn't physically going to be able to reconnect with everyone. I implemented a VA. So with Rose's help, was able to put into play the process, and also the data that's involved in the process to be able to track points of contact and when things, needed another touch point. So it all just come back to um, hiring the right person to be able to use the systems and the structure, but then create a process of touch points to the point where that lead becomes warm enough that I can come in, have a conversation and generate that meeting or pick up that job opportunity.
yeah, great. That's the thing around the time as well, isn't it? As that business
Mhm.
owner, is that you've got that system in place that's constantly nurturing those clients, developing those clients. It doesn't
Yeah,
require your time. And then, as you say, you come in at the point in which the client is ready or the candidate is ready to have that conversation.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
So,
And so, what difference have you seen there in business development?
we have now built our own database as such of candidates in our sector. So it's alleviating the job market advertising, which we have a major spend in job advertising. But if we can create our network with strength through LinkedIn and
Mm,
capacity, then that's the area that we're talking to every day. We're obviously posting and thought leadership and sharing information. That's where we really need to focus on building our pool, because people do want to, when they want to connect with us or they otherwise want to see what we're doing or really dive deep, it generally is through LinkedIn. That's we're finding the first point of call. So,
brilliant.
mm,
Brilliant. Thank you. Okay. Here's a question for you. Just before you joined us, what were the sort of things that were coming up in your head about potentially, actually reaching out or getting that support from an external support system or player? What were the questions or the doubts or the things that maybe you were like leaning away from at that point?
I wouldn't say anything was stopping me from getting help. I just think it was definitely the right time.
Yeah.
There was a couple of conversations, obviously, I had with Centre of Excellence and strategy conversations that
Yes.
evolved. And in having those conversations, things started to really surface, and I got more clarity on what, I was missing out on, and why I was sitting there stagnant, and, where I wanted to be and how I was going to get there. So the journey just started to unfold, as I said, as I started to get in conversation with people at Centre of Excellence. So, and then this program just seemed to, like, as it says, rocket. If you do want to put a rocket under your business, or if you do, want to launch, then there is a hell of a lot in here to learn, to implement, and the results today do speak for themselves.
Amazing. Thank you.
Mm.
And if you were in front of yourself, that talking to yourself 6 months ago, if you're in front of yourself, or if anyone listening to this interview today who's maybe in a similar place to you, they've got a team or they want to build a team, or they're at that kind of plateau and those thoughts are going through their head, what would be your advice that you would give them?
Just do it. No, it does take, for me personally, at that point in time, I was thinking, how am I going to, how am I going to fit this in? And
Yeah.
it was just a matter of, as I said, I got confidence, obviously, in knowing that there was a lot of strategy in this, but I was hesitant because I had so much on my plate. Well, how am I going to fit this in? So today, talking back to myself back then, I would have said, that's crazy, because launching into this will actually free up, that time that you need. So, unwrangle yourself, clear your mind, and just have confidence that this journey will, provide return, give you dividends, and that will mean time, and that will mean, I suppose, just less stress in knowing that there's efficiencies and things are functioning, and structure and systems to just keep taking that step forward rather than standing still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant. Great advice. Great advice. Thank you so much, Kylie. And thank you so much for being on the call with us today. And I really hope you've enjoyed this conversation as much as I have, and that you can walk away believing you can do the same. And take away one thing from this conversation. Ask yourself, what's the one thing that I'm going to implement in my business? Or what's the one step that I need to take? Because if you want shifts in your business, as Kylie's saying, simple systems, tactics that will grow your business exponentially and create less stress, and less work. Actually, that is the thing. That's the actual outcome that you'll get. If you want the plan, if you want that same plan that Kylie had in her business, and you can click on the link below this video, and we will show you how you can help to grow and leverage more opportunities and placements in your recruitment business. And if you want to have that same call that Kylie had that gave her that clarity, again, click on that link and we will be able to help you. Kylie, thank you so much. You are a voice of wisdom, and you shared lots with us. So thank you very much for being on today. And guys, we will see you again very, very soon. So thanks for joining us today. Take care.
Thanks, Katie.